Oh my god. Watching Hasan try to rewrite his of all the clips of Hasan just getting random like sent to his Snapchat. Also, by the way, you're assuming that he's not communicating back and forth with these chicks. He absolutely is, but I like that he pretends that he's not. The way that he reframes this is so funny.
Here is one of your friends. Here's one of your friends saying that there's nudes on your phone as like either a joke or the famous Cosmo article where I'm talking to a journalist and I'm like, oh, you know, my fans are sending me merch, like photos of themselves wearing my merch. And then in the process of me like going through those photos, there's one that was an unsolicited nude. And I said, oop, that was a nude. And then we moved on. It's not something that I had requested, or it's not something that I'm like distributing. It's just, it's completely ridiculous. But the reason why they do this is because whenever a content creator is in trouble in any of these circles, like I am basically a magnet for deflecting attention away.
I just love how like on the nose he is about what he does with me too. If anytime something bad is going on, people just pull the Hasan cord and then they just try to pivot and divert to random shit that's not related at all.
And those unsolicited news aren't just from women either. There's like dudes sending me dick pics too.
Oh, so he's got little boy in his Snapchat as well.
The fuck? And they basically will... anyway, as I was saying, I'm like a magnet for like some of the worst scumbags online, as you guys have seen.
Why would you even have, listen, as the champion Coomer, even I don't have a public open Snapchat. Why would you even have, that actually seems really weird to me. Why? Like that's just such a weird thing to, unless you just want, well, unless we, wait, fuck, maybe I should have a public Snapchat.
So they'll immediately go, well, Hasan has done this. It's actually worse what he's done. And it's like not the same thing at all.
It was just one time that it, you know, it was a joke and it doesn't even happen. And okay, dude, Hasan has got your back, dog.
He is, all of a sudden, Ethan decided like, I hate Hasan. He is responsible for everything that's ever happened. If you're pro-Palestine and you're a female content creator, he will call you every name under the sun, okay? If you're pro-Palestine and you know, a visible content creator that's like actively being attacked by the Trump administration, stalwart ally of the Palestinians / major liberal Ethan Klein will literally demand that the administration take action against you. Okay? He will sue you. He will take action against you. He'll call you a terrorist over and over again. He will try to get attention from advocacy groups to try to get you deplatformed. Okay? You spend months trying to fucking humiliate these people. Now you got a guy who's actually fucking, you know, not holding back. You got a guy who's actually not holding back, and this is what you have to say? Like the way he has talked about Denims, the way he's talked about Frogan, the way he's talked about me, the way he's talked about Ian, iDubbbz, Anissa, versus the way he's talking about Destiny, who is super pro-Israel, and by Ethan's own admission, is a person who wants to fuck 15-year-olds, and he's like, I love you. You're the...
I like how it gets younger every time they mention it. We'll be fetuses by the time Ethan's done with this video today. Jesus.
Go. You're a huge inspiration.
Jesus. Oh, no.
I did cancel the Cuba trip, yes, because I didn't want to go to prison. And unfortunately, he's going to run. He won't do it.
Why would he go to prison? The reason why he doesn't want to go is because there's no clout or money involved. That's why, right? It's just so everybody understands that.
No, he'll do it. But we're locked in. What's the context behind you saying U.S. deserved 9/11? It's very simple. American foreign policy and intervention in the region directly caused blowback and led to 9/11. I did
directly cause blowback. Isn't the whole point about blowback is that blowback is indirect? Oh yeah, he wouldn't be able to stream either because the internet's not that great.
Dude, I've been having so much fun watching the fucking H3 thing, like, just go nuts. It's been like a new little surprise every day, and it makes me happy. I want to like react to some of the slanderous comments about me in like a stream in the future. I think I'm gonna release a video and just promote the stream, and then fucking spill my guts on stream. Once we're in September. Be careful, bro. Yeah. No, there's nothing to be careful about now. I'm like, I feel very free to speak my truth. Yeah, I agree, Bri. Yeah, because it really doesn't help to fucking play by the rules and be like super fucking reasonable. I think there's a time where you need to like pull back.
Oh my god, why does everybody say this? Oh.
I even said it in my like content comp is essentially like, yeah, you can't keep volleying back harassment back and forth. But when people just like continue to do it, it's like I'm just taking a bunch of fucking heat for no benefit at all.
Where was somebody linked this? I think I was offline and somebody linked some video of the corn guy debating me a long time ago, saying that my audience was like an abusive, harassing audience. And it was like I had the most cucked position ever where, dude, I do so much to control my audience. Other proactive steps could I take besides telling people? Wait, hold on. Wait. Let me just finish right there. I know you're really excited. Let me just finish. What other proactive steps? What kind of proactive steps can I take beyond telling people, hey, which I've said a million times, and I'm sure even other content creators have heard me say this. If I catch you guys harassing people in other communities or going on Twitter and just typing transphobic, misogynist, whatever horrible shit, I'm going to ban you in every single community that I have. What other proactive steps can I take? I cannot believe how cucked my community is compared to all the other communities on the internet. And people are like, oh, you're the master harassers when we fucking can't do anything. It's okay. We just have to be better, okay? Better human beings.
Backstab stream. But then the question is whether or not you can retain those people, right? And so in my opinion, Vosh was able to do the backstab clout and succeed. Hasan was able to do the backstab clout. Max Carson was able to do so. And so there's always this thing in the background where Steven can never really trust me. But the question is whether or not you're truly Steven's friend.
Hold on. I don't know why you throw those all into the same bucket. It seems pretty obvious to me that Max found some actual malfeasance on Destiny's part, had actual real criticisms, actual real problems, and he just stuck to his morals. I don't know why it's the backstab club incentive. I think it's pretty obvious to say that Max could have just looked the other way and had way more incentive. There's way more incentive to not backstab Steven in that scenario. Can we talk about that? The incentive to suck this guy's cock? Can we add the third option here, which is the second option, which is the cock-sucking clout incentive for Connor? And that incentive becomes even larger as the malfeasance on Destiny's part grows, okay?
And they'll take out the backstab stream. But then the question,
why? Okay, true. Max did uncover the secret, crazy manipulator paradigm. Yes. Switching from iPhone to Android. Uh-oh.
Hey, did you see the new Google event? The Pixel 10 Pros? It looked pretty good, right? Yeah, I was watching that. Looked pretty sweet. Nice design, nice cameras, a bunch of really interesting AI features. I'm a fan. So you finally gonna get one? Eh, probably not. But you were just saying how good they are. So. Yeah, but I'm so used to the iPhone. I just don't want to switch. Like I'm used to what I got, and I'll be fine. You know. Okay, I feel like you do this every time. What's it gonna take for you to actually switch? I just don't want to switch. Like I get that the phones are great, and I can appreciate them. I'm just used to this, I guess. All right, name one reason why you couldn't switch to the Pixel right now. Okay, Face ID. It's really convenient. The Pixel has Face Unlock. Okay. Well, I can't get rid of my my wireless earbuds. You mean like Pixel Buds? MagSafe. They just added that to Pixel 10s. Widgets. Did I mention widgets? Okay, you're not gonna believe this. Oh, right. Apple Intelligence. Okay, see, now I think you're joking. I love the number 48, and so I just need to have a 48 megapixel main camera. That's the main thing. So see, I feel like you're sort of reaching, but these also have 48 megapixel cameras. So I just don't feel like it. It's valid.
I don't want to be racist, but these two guys look exactly the same. They're not even remotely similar looking.
2 years ago in the US, there was a survey that found that only 35% of people would be willing to switch their phone carrier to get a better deal, which might not sound that crazy, but then you think about it, that means that 65% of people, even if it meant they'd spent less money, still wouldn't switch phone carriers. So that is an example of an industry with a tremendously high perceived switching cost. Like switching carriers, most people believe is too much of a hassle, too much time and effort to actually go through with it, even if it would save them a bit of money. And so that allows carriers to get away with a little bit more because people are just not willing to switch. So anyway, the reason I bring up switching cost is I was watching this Google event this week, this spectacle event. And besides it being a little cringy and clearly not designed to speak to me at all, I do think it was really interesting how much they directly addressed switching. So, okay, this was an event featuring Jimmy Fallon and the Jonas Brothers and a bunch of other celebrity guests like Peloton instructors and pro athletes. So they were talking to the massive general audience that is normies in the US. And what do normies in the US use? iPhones. So this is a theme that came up several times during the event, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, but it all drew attention to the fact that these smartphone companies are trying to make it as easy as possible to switch to them and make it as hard as possible to switch away from them. Take the new Pixel Journal app, for example. Google just announced the Pixel 10s, and one of the new pre-installed apps on these phones is an AI-assisted journaling app. To a lot of people, this looks like a basic copycat of that iPhone journal app that they just announced 2 years ago. And I wouldn't blame you for thinking that, but the other real motivation behind making an app like this is switching costs. See, Apple's gonna make a journal app, and they're hoping it's good enough that people start to use it, and a lot of people really like it, and some fraction of people love it so much that they would actually refuse to use a different phone. They would refuse to switch from an iPhone if they couldn't get that anywhere else. So when Google comes along and makes their journaling app for the Pixel, they're very directly offering an equivalent experience on the other side of the fence. So now someone who really likes journaling no longer has a reason why they couldn't switch. It turns out a very direct response to your competitor adding a feature or something that potentially creates some extra lock-in is to just do the same thing on your side of the fence in your own system. And the more of this event that you watch with this in mind, the more of it you very clearly see. Like you can think of Pixel Snap the same way, which is them adding these Qi 2 wireless chargers and magnets into the back of all their Pixel 10 phones. And I always thought that this would be in more phones. Like I always was shocked that there weren't more phones with Qi 2, especially because when you listen to iPhone people talk about MagSafe, they love it. Like people almost refuse to buy phones that don't have MagSafe now. See the comments of the iPhone 16e review. But there are some small limitations of the official Qi 2 support. The big one really was that it doesn't support the fastest.
Who cares? I don't even care that much about this. Like, it's kind of nice, I guess, for charging my phone, but I don't think I would ever make a decision about a phone just based on whether or not you would like have a mag charger. I don't know. I just super don't give a fuck.
Charging speeds. So it's 15 to 25 watts with the latest edition. Not disastrously slow, but it does make sense why some of the other manufacturers like Oppo or OnePlus or Huawei wouldn't adopt it. They'd rather.
What phone do you have now? I think it's a 1 generation old iPhone. I gave my Pixel to Nathan. I used to do 2 phones and then I stopped because I just got captured by the iPhone ecosystem. I needed to, the problem with the iPhone shit is just they have like the fucking best in class peripherals or whatever. That was the biggest thing. Although I think you can use the you can use AirPods or whatever with an Android phone now, but the AirPod things are so good. The first Pixel bugs kind of sucked. They just weren't that good. I don't know, maybe they've gotten a lot better now, but you can, but they lack features. I don't think so. I think you can just download an app now, or you can just like, if you know all the commands on the fucking AirPods, I think you have at least all the big features or whatever than you used to, or that you could access on an iPhone.
Rather continue developing and leaning on their Super VOOC and dash charging, which is super fast. It's one of their selling points with like 80.
Best UI and operation system destiny. You know, I don't actually buy that at all. Maybe that was true for Macs or whatever, but I have apps and shit crash on my iPhone all the time. Like, or not all the time, but it's not like I ever feel like, oh my God, since I'm using my iPhone, everything works perfectly, nothing crashes ever. Like, I still have shit like that.
They'd rather continue developing and leaning on their Super VOOC and dash charging, which is super fast. It's one of their selling points with like 80, 100 watt wireless charging. Great. Here with the Pixel, though, it actually makes perfect sense because they've never had the biggest numbers or the fastest charging speeds. The Pixel 9 only charged, I think, 12 watts on a Qi charger. So 15 to 25 is a big upgrade, actually, for wireless charging speeds. And now you get these magnets. You essentially added
25 watt wireless charging now? Is that true? Jesus. You kids are spoiled. Back in my day, USB A type was like, what was it? It's like 6 watts. It's really low. It sucked. It was horrible.
MagSafe to your phones with no downside. And yes, they have done more work with the array and the strength of the magnets and making their own accessories that attach really firmly to the back of the phone. So all the extra work is sick. But if you zoom out enough.
Yeah, 7.5 watts. Although you can get like an extra fast, like 15 watt charger for the USB A cables. Like, ugh.
The magnets and making their own accessories that attach really firmly to the back of the phone. So all the extra work is sick. But if you zoom out enough, MagSafe was a reason people would resist switching from an iPhone to a Pixel. And now it's not. So many of the times that it looks like these companies are just copying each other. Yeah, you got to keep in mind that minimizing switching costs is a huge motivator to a lot of this stuff. They used to be in a battle for new customers, but there's just so much less of that now. Like most of the world already has a smartphone. So the real battle now is actually 2 things. It's kids and people getting their first smartphone, because once you get your first smartphone, you're likely to stick with that for a long time. And then switchers. Now, the last thing is you can't talk about switching costs in the US and normies in the US without talking about the biggest obstacle that Apple has set up, which is iMessage lock-in. I've talked about this before, and like every time I bring it up, a lot of you guys who are not in the US are like, it seems like the dumbest thing ever because that pressure.
Everybody uses WhatsApp in Europe or whatever bullshit. Didn't they make a law recently that said Apple's not allowed to do that text message shit anymore? And now Android is allowed to have the green or blue bubbles or whatever the fuck?
Does not exist outside of this place, but here, blue bubble pressure is so real. But Google did specifically try to talk about this in their event.
OnePlus 13 is by far the best Android phone right now. I haven't looked at any Android phones in a long time. The only reason I got the Pixel, whatever I get, it has to be a stock Android shit. Dude, opening the fucking Samsung phones and having like 3 different calendar apps. It's like, oh, this is the Google Calendar app, and oh, this is like your carrier's calendar app, and oh, this is like the Samsung Plus calendar app, which is actually just like a wrapper around the Google and it's like, I'd rather myself.
But here, blue bubble pressure is so real. But Google did specifically try to talk about this in their event too, and this is how they decided to tackle it.
So we realize the idea of switching your phone brand can seem scary. It can even maybe be a little bit daunting. And so we've talked about and have tackled the top 2 concerns that people have when it comes to switching.
So we can stop talking about the green text versus the blue text?
Yes. Yes. And first of all, I'm going to say, personally, the green-blue bubble battle is silly and it's tired. And at Google, we're done with that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I can't confirm this, but Andrew Edwards did say that they were showing applause signs to the audience who were there in person. Look, obviously, if it was up to Apple, they never would have adopted RCS, and they would love to keep their features as exclusive as possible in their little bubble, and then if you want to switch, you're leaving all these features behind. But now that Google's poking holes in that with interoperability and RCS, it's a little bit less of a bubble. I did make an entire video on blue bubbles versus green bubbles and that whole dynamic, so if you want to watch that, I'll link it right here or down below the like button. But don't think Apple's never tried this stuff either. Apple would love to entice Android users to come to their side of the fence. From the Move to iOS app that they built and put in the Play Store, to the ad campaigns that they've run over the years, the newest Apple Intelligence feature that looks and acts a lot like that hit Circle to Search feature on Android, all of this stuff runs both ways. It's all in the name of competition. Something to think about. Anyway, stay tuned for the full Pixel 10 series phone reviews, and also the iPhones are right around the corner. It's about to be Tech-Timber. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the pipeline. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Catch you very soon in the next one.
Okay.